Where to shop is one of the most common questions I get from women in leadership. And it's because once you go to the next level of your career, continuing to shop at places like, Ann Taylor, Banana Republic to elevate your wardrobe and feel confident usually stops working, especially if you don't want to blend in with middle management anymore and you are leading a team. Those are definitely not the brands I would suggest if your goal is to build a wardrobe that actually reflects your leadership level. There are a handful of brands that create beautiful elevated pieces that not only make you feel confident, but also visually position you as a woman in leadership. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the fashion brands I actually suggest to women in leadership, including my own clients. Hi, my name is Basia Richard and I am a former celebrity stylist turned personal stylist, and for the past 15 years I've helped executives, directors, CEOs and entrepreneurs walk into a room and immediately look like the woman in charge. And I work with my clients inside a Dress for Impact program, but also work with them one-on-one, and you're going to learn more about how we can work together. If you're interested, you're going to find more information in the description below. So without further ado, let's do this. I'm not gonna lie, there are brands out there that I hear all the time, and that's exactly where women shop. And those brands are like Ann Taylor, White House Black Market, Banana Republic, just to name a few. And obviously there's nothing wrong with those brands. They make, decent professional pieces for professional women. But once you go to the next level of your career, maybe you are running a team, sitting at the leadership table, speaking on panels, attending important events, what worked for you where you shopped 10 years ago might not be the best place for you anymore. And the reason why is because a lot of pieces in those stores are designed for typical workwear and made for the masses. So anybody who wants, I would say like a polished blouse or like a polished pants can go there and find something. But what you have to think about as a woman in leadership is that visually you want to, I would say, separate yourself from everybody else who is not operating at your level yet, which means, your clothes should not only fit you really, really well, have beautiful structure, richer fabrics, and a great fit, but they should also visually position you as someone who immediately looks like she's the one running the team, leading the meeting, or getting on stage. And that means you should probably start looking at different brands. Obviously, depending, on your aesthetic, right? What you like to wear and what you're dressing for. So there are a lot of brands out there that I shop all the time for my clients, whether they work with me inside the Dress for Impact program or Dress for Impact VIP, which is my one-on-one container. And from all of those brands, I made a list of brands that I would suggest to women in leadership who really want to elevate their wardrobe, take it to the next level, and visually separate themselves from the rest of the team. So the first brand that I suggest a lot is called Reiss. Now, Reiss is a British brand that designs really beautiful workwear for women. They have everything from suits, blazers, beautiful trousers, blouses, and really nice dresses. And I would say this is probably, one of the brands I reach for the most, whether you want to buy a full suit or just looking for like really great slacks. Now, the woman they design for definitely feels elevated, modern, and polished. It's really, great for women who are attending a lot of visible spaces, need to look really put together and still want, their wardrobe to feel, I would say, elevated and modern instead of like very traditional business wear. They also have petite sizes, which again is something I suggest to a lot of my petite clients. But what I really love about Reiss, that they really create that elevated, beautiful workwear without really giving you that, I would say that boring corporate vibe. So for example, if somebody works in banking but doesn't want that super strict professional wardrobe while still wanting to look polished and professional, this brand fits perfectly into that category. Their pieces have, a much more, I would say, elevated and modern feel, and I love the structure of their blazers. Their trousers are usually really, really great. And again, it's that, I would say that sweet spot between being too corporate and too casual. So you can wear those, trousers to work, out to dinner, and even on a weekend. Their blouses are absolutely beautiful, and so are their dresses as well. And one of my favorite pieces from there are their classic pleated skirts. They come in, many different colors, and I absolutely love the fit and the feel of them. So overall, I would say this brand really sits right in the middle between being, too corporate and too casual. So the next brand I suggest to my clients, it's called The Fold. This is a brand I recently started to work with a lot more for women who are in stricter professional environments like banking and financial institutions, where the dress code is much more formal. And honestly, a lot of brands out there still don't make really beautiful professional wear for women that has feminine feel, and this is exactly where The Fold comes in. It's perfect for women who work in financial institutions or more traditional professional environment, but don't want to default to very traditional menswear inspired outfits like so many brands' designs. What I love about this brand is that it really sits in that sweet spot where the outfits still feel polished and business professional, but also has that feminine touch. So what you're going to find is, a lot of beautiful suiting in color like black, navy, burgundy, and other rich tones. But what makes those pieces really stand out are the feminine details. Their blazers have the beautiful tailoring, like the interesting silhouettes, pleating, subtle ruffles, and details that, really feel, I would say, elevated and feminine without really taking away from that professional side of that outfit. So overall, this brand is still very business focused, but it gives women, a way to look polished and powerful without feeling like they are dressing in traditional menswear. This is also a British brand, but it's available in the States. I also have seen some pieces at Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's, but you can also, I think, you can definitely order directly from their website, and they offer really pretty easy shipping and returns to and from the States. The next one is Lily Silk, and it's one of my favorite brands for beautiful silk basics, especially silk tanks that are perfect under blazers. Now, outside of just basic silk tanks, they also have really beautiful blouses and pants as well. But this brand is usually my go-to when I need to suggest classic, clean silk shirts and blouses for my clients. Now, first of all, those pieces are actually very affordable when it comes to silk. And the brand also runs a lot of sales throughout the year, so it's definitely worth checking if they currently have one going on. Now, outside of regular button-up silk blouses, they also have different cuts and styles. So overall, they just make really beautiful, simple pieces that feel, elevated and luxurious, but at the same time, you're not paying like an extremely high price for like a simple silk blouse like you would with like a lot of other brands. Now, they also have really beautiful silk slacks, which, I absolutely love because there are not too many brands that offer pants outside of like the typical wool or polyester fabrics at really good price points. So overall, this is definitely one of my go-to brands when I need to suggest, elevated and beautiful silk pieces for my clients. The next one is an absolute favorite of mine, but it is going to be more pricey, and that's Veronica Beard. And this is a much more elevated brand that offers some of the best blazers out there. And I've tried them, my clients have tried them, and honestly, they are some of the best. Now the fit is beautiful. The structure is absolutely amazing, really, really nice. And if I had to suggest, I would say like one brand for beautiful blazers, Veronica Beard would definitely be one of them. So Veronica Beard is, I would say, perfect for a woman who works in more like a business casual environment, has like a strong point of view on what she likes to wear and how she wants to be seen, and has a little bit more, I would say, like the feminine aesthetic, but at the same time doesn't want to box herself into a very traditional suit and blouse combination. So she wants to also incorporate more colors, prints, and patterns into her workwear. So now outside of blazers, Veronica Beard also has like really beautiful elevated workwear pieces that are absolutely perfect for more like, I would say, like the business casual setting. So whether you're attending a conference, a business meeting, or maybe like a networking event, and you want your clothes to feel elevated, modern, and interesting without, you know, feeling too casual or too business, this is really that, I would say, that sweet spot. You're going to find beautiful classic blazers, not only that traditional styles, but also pieces with really nice prints and patterns, feminine blouses, and great slacks. And they also have really, really great shoes. I actually own really nice pair, and I absolutely love it. So definitely check this one out for yourself. And this is one of those brands that I recommend all the time to all my clients. And the next one is a shoe brand that I recently started becoming more available in the States. And it's a German brand that I absolutely love. And I recently saw a couple styles at Nordstrom. So what I really love about their shoes is that they have that modern elevated feel. A lot of the styles are very office and business appropriate, but they still have that fashion forward and modern feel instead of overly corporate. So you're going to find a lot of heels, kitten heels, lower heels, flats, and many other styles, but I especially love the shape and overall feel of their shoes. Overall, I would say this is a really great brand for the professional woman who wants to take her wardrobe to the next level, including her footwear. And the last brand that I'm personally obsessed with is called Me+Em. This is a British brand that truly understands women and what women actually want to wear these days. And you're going to find a lot of very feminine pieces with beautiful details like ruffles, colors, trims, prints, and fit perfectly into that polished, elevated workwear without feeling too stuffy and too traditional. This brand definitely fits the woman who has a more feminine style, wants to feel elevated but still romantic, loves florals, colors, and softer details, but at the same time still wants to look like she's the one running the meeting, not attending a brunch, right? I absolutely love their selection of blouses because they feel really elevated and have these beautiful details. I love their blazers because, you know, you're going to find really interesting, I would say, silhouettes that are very difficult to find outside of this brand. They don't feel like this traditional business wear, but at the same time, they still feel polished, modern, and elevated. So overall, this is one of those brands that I suggest a lot to my clients who want to feel more feminine rather than very traditional in a way they dress for work. So now you know my top brands I suggest to my clients. If you want to learn more and you want to work with me, you're going to find more information in the description below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to get notified when I post a new video, which is every Wednesday. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next week.